God told me to warn you, and I need you to hear this with the deepest part of your heart. Listen carefully, because what I'm about to declare is not a suggestion. It is not a possibility. It is the voice of God stirring your life, shaking the atmosphere around you, and preparing you for a transition that is already set in motion. You are relocating soon, whether in circumstances, in destiny, or in the very place you stand. But before your feet touch that new ground, before your hands reach into that new chapter, there are 4 things you must know, and failing to grasp them will cost you the fullness of what God has prepared for you. I say this because God's voice is urgent and God's timing is perfect. Do not ignore this. The world will try to distract you. The comfort of the familiar will whisper, stay. But God is calling you forward, beyond what you see, beyond what you imagine, into a place where your faith will meet its reward. First, God told me to remind you that your relocation is not random. It is ordained. There is no step in your journey that God has not meticulously planned. Even in the turbulence you may feel, even in the uncertainty that grips your heart when change approaches, understand this: God sees the path you are walking. Nothing about your relocation is by chance. The move you fear is the move that will awaken your purpose. The city, the town, the home, the people you are about to encounter, they are divinely placed. God has mapped this out long before you took your first breath. And everything, every detail, every twist, every obstacle exists only to shape you for the destiny that only God can reveal. You must know this first truth: nothing is outside of God's hands. Even if it feels chaotic, even if it feels uncomfortable, even if your mind tries to reason and your heart resists, this move is God's command. And obedience to this divine instruction will align your life with blessings that the world cannot contain. Second, God wants you to understand that relocation will test the depth of your faith. There will be moments when doubt will whisper, when fear will try to paralyze your spirit, when every step forward feels like walking on air that might vanish beneath you. But this is not a warning to make you afraid. This is a revelation to awaken the strength God has placed within you. God is not merely moving you to a new location. God is moving you into a higher version of yourself, one that will require courage, perseverance, and unwavering trust. When the new environment challenges your comfort, when the unfamiliar stares back at you with questions you cannot answer, remember that God is your guide. Faith is not built in places of ease. It is forged in the fires of transition. Your new surroundings will test patience, humility, and reliance on God alone. And here is what God is whispering to your soul: when you lean fully on God, when you place every fear, every uncertainty, every hope in God's hands, you will rise above the chaos of relocation, and your life will bear witness to the power of obedience and trust in the divine. Third, God is warning you that relocation will bring both opportunity and attack. The doors God is opening will be met with resistance, not to stop you, but to prepare your heart. In every blessing there is a test. In every new path there is a trial. Do not be surprised if, in the midst of new beginnings, challenges confront you, people misunderstand you, situations appear hostile, circumstances seem to conspire, but God's voice says, remain steadfast, stand firm in prayer, in reflection, in submission to God's will. The enemy will always attempt to obscure the clarity of divine instruction, but he cannot prevail where God's purpose is active. What God wants you to know is this: do not fear the opposition, expect it. Do not be shaken by the uncertainty. Trust in the guidance that has been breathed into your spirit. Every barrier, every difficulty, every delay exists only to make your faith resilient, to make your testimony stronger, to make the arrival at your new place a declaration of God's glory. If you falter in the face of opposition, You may miss the full measure of what God has prepared, but if you hold fast, the victory is already written. Fourth, God tells me to remind you that your relocation is not just about changing your physical address. It is about transforming your destiny. You are being positioned for influence, impact, and purpose that you cannot yet comprehend. Every connection you make, every experience you embrace, every challenge you overcome in this new place will serve as a building block for the fulfillment of God's promises over your life. God is not relocating you for comfort. God is relocating you for significance. The relationships you cultivate, the wisdom you gather, the faith you nurture, they are all part of a divine architecture designed by God to elevate you beyond your current understanding. And here is the essential truth. The fullness of this purpose depends entirely on your responsiveness to God's guidance. If you move with hesitation, if you move with fear, if you move without acknowledging the hand of God over your journey, the blessings will be delayed. But if you step boldly, faithfully, and humbly, the new place will not just be a relocation, it will be a launchpad, a crucible for your character, and a gateway to the destiny that God has called you to inhabit. And now, hear me clearly. The moment of relocation is coming. It may be subtle, it may be sudden, it may arrive with what seems like ordinary steps, but God is orchestrating every detail. Do not underestimate the power of obedience, even in small matters. Do not ignore the nudges of God's voice in prayer, in reflection, in the quiet whispers of your heart. The universe may feel overwhelming, but nothing is beyond God's sovereignty. Nothing can thwart the path God has laid before you. The fears you carry, the insecurities you harbor, the uncertainties you wrestle with, they are temporary shadows in the presence of the eternal plan God has designed. Before you leave, before you step into the unknown, God calls you to remember 4 principles that will protect you, guide you, and ensure that your relocation becomes a sacred alignment with divine will. First, guard your faith with relentless vigilance. Let no doubt, no fear, no worldly distraction weaken your trust in God's plan. Your faith is the compass that will guide you through the unfamiliar terrain ahead. Second, embrace humility in every interaction. The new people, the new culture, the new responsibilities, they will require a spirit of service, a heart open to learning, and a willingness to submit to God's wisdom above all else. Third, commit to perseverance, even when trials emerge. Relocation is never without challenge. But endurance under pressure will reveal the depth of your character and the power of God working through you. Fourth, remain anchored in prayer, in reflection, and in constant awareness of God's presence. The path may be filled with uncertainties, but God is your shield, your guide, and your source of strength. Now, listen with the fullness of your heart. God is calling you to understand that relocation is not merely a physical shift. It is a spiritual realignment. It is a repositioning orchestrated by God so that every vibration of your life resonates with divine purpose. Often, we think of moving as leaving behind a city, a home, a neighborhood. But God is asking you to see it as leaving behind limitation, fear, and complacency. This move is a declaration that your life will no longer be contained by yesterday's patterns, yesterday's doubts, or yesterday's smallness. And God is telling me to warn you, what you leave behind may seem familiar, safe, even comforting, but the new place, the new stage is where God's unseen hand is waiting to transform your existence into something extraordinary. The first truth, your relocation is ordained, must settle deep in your soul. You are not wandering blindly. You are stepping into a divinely mapped chapter. And yet this requires a conscious surrender. Every hesitation, every second-guessing thought, every desire to cling to comfort is a test of your obedience. God is moving you, yes, but your alignment with God's command determine the speed, the clarity, and the fruitfulness of your journey. Obedience is the engine that activates God's plan. Without it, the path becomes arduous, filled with unnecessary struggle. But with it, the move becomes effortless in a spiritual sense, even when physically it demands action, courage, and endurance. Hear me, God will always honor your faith-driven steps. When God calls, the first act of faith is to answer, without delay, without resistance, without trying to rewrite the divine plan to fit your comfort. Now consider the second truth. The relocation will test your faith. Not gently, not lightly, but profoundly. Change, by its very nature, shakes us. It stirs insecurities, magnifies fears, and exposes our weaknesses. God is not blind to this human struggle. In fact, God's purpose is perfected precisely in the pressure of testing. You will encounter moments when the new environment feels alien, when the task before you seems overwhelming, when the loneliness of the unfamiliar threatens to swallow your hope. But God's voice is calling you to remember. Faith is not built in comfort. Faith is strengthened when your heart trusts what it cannot yet see, when your eyes follow what your hands cannot yet grasp, when your spirit clings to God while the world around you trembles. Those who emerge from relocation without having their faith tested often discover that their destiny remains shallow. But those who stand firm, who walk with courage when everything screams retreat, become vessels of God's extraordinary purpose. And the third truth, opposition will rise in the midst of blessings, is not a threat, it is a prophecy of preparation. As God positions you, resistance will appear, not to deter you, but to purify the path, to refine your character, to illuminate the strength you already carry within. People may misunderstand you, situations may seem unjust, doors may close unexpectedly, but this is not the end. It is God's way of signaling, do not lean on your own understanding. Stand firm, for I am with you. Opposition is not a rejection, it is a spiritual calibration. It forces you to rely not on human reasoning, not on worldly strategies, but on God's guidance alone. Those who stumble at the first sign of resistance may miss the fullness of God's design. But those who rise with prayer, discernment, and unwavering faith will find that every challenge becomes a stepping stone. Every trial becomes a testimony, and every closed door is a prelude to a divine opening. The fourth truth, the relocation is destiny-altering, carries a weight that the human mind struggles to comprehend. God is not merely relocating your body or your household. God is relocating your influence, your testimony, your spiritual authority. Every conversation you enter, every environment you step into, every relationship you touch, God is orchestrating these with precision. And God is telling me, do not underestimate the significance of small, faithful actions in this new place. A simple act of integrity, a decision to honor God even when unseen, a choice to respond in love and wisdom instead of fear. These are the seeds of a legacy that will bloom beyond your imagination. God is positioning you to be a catalyst, to be a light, to be a vessel through which divine purpose flows. And if you approach this move casually, if you underestimate the spiritual magnitude of relocation, you risk walking past the very moments that were meant to define your life. Hear this with clarity. God's timing is perfect, but God's blessings require awareness. The moment you step into this new chapter, It will demand intentionality. You will need to pray when it is difficult, to believe when nothing visible confirms your faith, and to act when fear tells you to retreat. Relocation is a divine intersection of obedience and opportunity. Every detail, every moment, every encounter is significant. And here is the warning God has placed on my heart. Do not allow the noise of the world, the doubts of others, the pressures of circumstance, the distractions of comfort to drown out God's call. Listen, act, trust, and watch as God transforms what seems ordinary into extraordinary, what seems uncertain into assured, what seems distant into immediate manifestation of divine will. Your relocation will also bring revelation. God is not just moving you in space, but in vision. As you navigate new streets, new people, new responsibilities, God will illuminate truths that were hidden in the familiar. You will gain insight into your purpose, clarity about your calling, and understanding of your role in God's grand design. The lessons embedded in this relocation are not accidental. Every moment, every challenge, every victory is a whisper from God, shaping your spirit, refining your understanding, expanding your influence, and you must receive it fully, not partially, not with doubt, but with the full awareness that every step is sacred, every experience is intentional, and every encounter is orchestrated by God to mold you into the person God has destined you to become. God told me to warn you again, and I need you to feel the weight of this truth. Relocation is not just about moving from one place to another. It is about stepping into a new dimension of God's purpose. Many people think of change as physical, as something external. But God is moving you internally first. God is repositioning your mind, your spirit, and your heart so that when you arrive at the new place, you will not only survive, you will thrive. Every fear you have, every doubt you wrestle with, every hesitation you entertain, these are not obstacles to remove by your own strength. They are the testing grounds of God's refining power. You are being prepared, shaped, and transformed in ways that only God can accomplish. And here is what God says. If you do not allow this internal alignment to occur, the relocation will become just a change of address, not a breakthrough of destiny. You must understand that God is asking for a radical surrender. This is not a passive compliance. It is an active, conscious yielding of every expectation, every plan, and every assumption you have ever held. God is calling you to let go of what you thought your life should look like so that you can embrace what God intends it to be. The familiar comforts, the routines, the sense of control you cling to, they will try to anchor you. But God's voice is commanding you to release them. Only when you let go completely will you experience the fullness of God's plan. And know this, letting go is not weakness. It is not defeat. It is the clearest demonstration of faith that you have surrendered to the sovereignty of God, trusting that every step you take is guided by divine wisdom far beyond your understanding. As you prepare for this move, God is calling you to cultivate spiritual vigilance. The world will present distractions disguised as guidance. People will offer advice, circumstances will push, and your own mind will battle between fear and courage. But God's voice is unmistakable for those who are listening. It comes as a still, undeniable clarity within the heart, an unshakable assurance that directs your steps beyond the noise. You must train yourself to discern it, to recognize it even when the path seems uncertain. Every decision, every interaction, every choice in the coming days carries weight. God is telling me one misstep in ignoring divine direction can delay blessings, but one step aligned with God's voice will accelerate the fulfillment of destiny in ways you cannot yet comprehend. And hear this, your relocation will reveal hidden dimensions of your character. God is moving you to places where your true strengths, your hidden gifts, and even your weaknesses will be exposed. This is not to discourage you, but to prepare you. The people you meet, the situations you encounter, the responsibilities you carry, they will serve as mirrors reflecting who you really are. Some reflections will bring pride, others will reveal humility, some will inspire courage, and others will demand patience. God's instruction is clear. Respond to every reflection with awareness and obedience. Do not shrink from the lessons. Do not rebel against the challenges. Each moment is designed to cultivate resilience, wisdom, and alignment with God's will. You face this relocation passively, you may miss the opportunity for true transformation. But if you embrace it with open eyes, a willing heart, and unwavering faith, you will emerge not just relocated, but renewed, elevated, and equipped for the purpose God has prepared. There is another aspect God wants you to know. Your relocation will stretch your capacity for vision. You will see things differently. You will think differently. The priorities you held in the familiar place may no longer serve you. God is calling you to expand your spiritual vision so that you can perceive what is coming, anticipate the unseen, and act with insight. Your senses must become attuned to divine whispers. Your mind must train itself to interpret subtle signs, and your heart must align with God's intention. The moment you step into the new place, ordinary perception will no longer be sufficient. God is preparing you to recognize opportunities, navigate challenges, and fulfill assignments that were hidden in plain sight. The relocation is, in truth, a rehearsal for a greater stage, a preparation for influence, impact, and purpose that will extend beyond your personal life into the lives of those God places around you. And let us not overlook the spiritual warfare that accompanies relocation. God is not sending you into a neutral space. There will be forces that resist the fulfillment of your purpose, that seek to divert, discourage, or derail you. But hear me clearly. God has already established authority over every attack. You are not alone. The relocation may feel overwhelming at times, but the presence of God within you is greater than any obstacle before you. Do not mistake resistance for failure. Do not mistake opposition for abandonment. These are tests, trials, and provocations designed to call forth your reliance on God. Your prayer, your steadfastness, and your unwavering obedience will serve as shields, protecting not only your position, but the destiny God has set for you. God is also showing me that your relocation will redefine relationships. Some connections in your current life may fade, some may strengthen. Hence, new ones will appear that are pivotal to your spiritual journey. Do not fear separation and do not resist new encounters. Every person you meet is part of God's architecture for your life in this new chapter. Those who challenge you, those who support you, and even those who oppose you, all are elements in a divine pattern designed to teach, strengthen, and position you. God's guidance is clear. Embrace relationships with discernment. Nurture connections with integrity, and let your actions reflect the faith and obedience God requires. In this way, relocation is not only geographical, it is relational, spiritual, and transformational. God told me to warn you, and I need you to understand the depth of this. Relocation will strip away what is unnecessary, it will expose what is hidden, and it will reveal what is essential. In the familiar, it is easy to cling to routines, to rely on comfort, to trust what is known. But God is calling you into unfamiliar territory precisely because growth cannot occur in familiarity. This is the crucible of transformation. Every step into the unknown is a step into divine preparation. God's purpose is not only in the destination, but in the journey itself. The streets you will walk, the homes you will enter, the interactions you will have, all are instruments in the hands of God to shape your character, refine your vision, and strengthen your faith. You cannot afford to approach this move passively. Every hesitation is a loss of opportunity. Every distraction is a delay in blessing. God is telling me, pay attention, obey, and move with intention, because your relocation is a spiritual event as much as it is a physical one. As you step forward, God wants you to carry a posture of expectation. Too often, people relocate with anxiety, with doubt, with hesitation, and they miss the manifestation of what God has already prepared. But expectation, aligned with obedience, is the engine of divine fulfillment. Expect God to intervene, expect God to provide, expect God to reveal hidden doors. The new place will be fertile ground for blessing, but it requires your active faith to cultivate. Expectation is not passive. It is a declaration of trust. It is the recognition that God has already moved, that the unseen forces of destiny are at work, and that your role is to step in faith and receive what has been prepared. Do not step with uncertainty or fear. Step with expectation, with the unwavering knowledge that God is already orchestrating the circumstances you cannot yet see. God also told me to reveal to you the importance of spiritual alignment before relocation. You cannot carry yesterday's patterns, yesterday's grudges, or yesterday's limitations into the new place and expect full blessing. God requires that you arrive cleansed in spirit, focused in heart, and clear in intention. Every unresolved conflict, every unexamined decision, every lingering attachment, these are weights that slow the manifestation of God's plan. Od's voice says, release them now. Let go fully. Begin your relocation unburdened and fully receptive to what I have prepared. Spiritual alignment is not a suggestion. It is a prerequisite. It is the foundation upon which your future will be built. The blessings that await you will respond to the clarity and obedience of your heart. If you step forward partially prepared, the journey will be laborious. But if you step forward wholly aligned, the path will open with supernatural precision. You must also understand the subtle but powerful ways God uses relocation to awaken hidden potential. In the familiar, your abilities often lie dormant, untested, unrecognized. God's purpose in moving you is to provoke growth, to reveal strength, and to uncover talents that were hidden by comfort. The new place will demand that you act with creativity, think with wisdom, and respond with courage in ways you never have before. It will stretch your capacity for patience, for leadership, and for insight. And here's the secret God is showing me. The struggles you encounter are not obstacles, they are catalysts. The challenges are not punishment, they are opportunities to discover your capacity for faith, resilience, and divine alignment. Every moment of discomfort carries the potential to awaken greatness. Every situation that feels beyond your control is a stage for God's intervention. You must step forward with awareness, understanding that even the smallest act of faith in the unfamiliar is a seed that God will grow into a harvest of destiny. Furthermore, God is revealing to you that relocation will test the integrity of your character. In a new environment, it is easy to compromise, to adapt in ways that dilute your values, or to bend under the pressure of external expectations. But God is calling you to unwavering, authenticity. Let your words reflect truth. Let your actions reflect obedience. Let your heart remain anchored in the knowledge that God is watching and guiding every decision. The measure of your success in this new chapter is not simply in achievements, possessions, or recognition. It is in the fidelity of your obedience, the depth of your faith, and the steadfastness of your character. Relocation is a stage upon which your soul is tested, refined, and prepared for divine destiny. Compromise diminishes blessing, integrity amplifies it. And God is saying, I have chosen you to be faithful, to act with purity, and to embrace my guidance fully, for your obedience determines the flow of blessing into your life and into the lives of those around you. Another revelation God wants you to hold on to is the power of timing. Relocation may feel urgent, it may feel immediate, or it may appear delayed, but nothing about this move is accidental. God's timing is precise, and the unfolding of your journey will follow divine rhythm. You cannot force the process, and you cannot accelerate what is not yet ordained, but you can prepare, align, and position yourself to fully receive when the appointed moment arrives. Patience is not inactivity, it is active readiness. It is a quiet confidence that every step you take, every prayer you offer, every act of obedience is synchronized with God's plan. The moment of relocation will arrive at exactly the right time, and when it does, your faith, your preparation, and your alignment will ensure that you step into blessing without delay, without confusion, and without compromise. God told me to warn you one last time, and I need you to hear this with every fiber of your being. Your relocation is not a matter of convenience, chance, or circumstance. It is a divine summons. It is God's voice calling you out of what is familiar into what is necessary, from comfort into challenge, from limitation into destiny. The very ground beneath your feet may shake, the winds of uncertainty may swirl around you, and the shadows of doubt may attempt to whisper, but know this: God has gone before you. Every street you will walk, every doorway you will enter, every person you will encounter, God has already stationed blessings, prepared favor, and aligned opportunity. And God is saying, do not shrink. Do not hesitate. Step boldly, for I am already working in the unseen, and your obedience will activate the fullness of my plan. Hear me, God has not moved you just to survive. God has moved you to thrive. This relocation is an awakening. It is a clarion call to rise above the ordinary, to step beyond the limitations that once defined you, to embrace the extraordinary life that has been waiting for you. The move may seem daunting, the unknown may feel uncomfortable, but the very discomfort is a signal that growth is happening, that transformation is underway, that destiny is being activated. God is calling you to a level of faith that stretches beyond what your eyes can see, beyond what your mind can comprehend, and beyond what your circumstances suggest is possible. And when you answer that call fully, courageously, and faithfully, you will witness miracles that cannot be contained by ordinary understanding. God also told me to remind you, preparation is as spiritual as it is practical. You cannot enter this new chapter with the mindset of yesterday, the habits of yesterday, or the fears of yesterday. Your spirit must be aligned. Your heart must be open. Your mind must be receptive. Every prayer you offer, every reflection you engage in, every act of obedience is a tool that positions you to receive what God has prepared. Do not rush through preparation. Do not neglect the refining work within your heart. God is orchestrating a perfect alignment of spirit, mind, and circumstance, and your willingness to submit fully will ensure that you cross this threshold with power, clarity, and divine favor. And now listen, God is calling you to embrace the unknown with courage, but also with discernment. Not every opportunity, not every door, not every person will carry blessing. God's voice is subtle, yet unmistakable, and it will guide you to what is aligned with His purpose. You must learn to listen deeply. You must learn to wait patiently. You must learn to recognize the confirmations of God's hand. This relocation is not a time to act impulsively. It is a time to act with precision, guided by faith. Every step must resonate with God's direction, for the move is sacred, and the blessings that follow will be proportionate to the obedience and attentiveness of your spirit. God is also revealing that your relocation will uncover hidden reservoirs of strength you did not know you possessed. There will be moments when challenges seem insurmountable, when the weight of change presses heavily upon you, when the familiar calls you back. But in those moments, you will discover that the courage God has placed within you is limitless. The patience God has planted in your heart is inexhaustible. The wisdom God has instilled in your spirit is unshakable. And in these moments, God's power will manifest, not only to sustain you, but to position you to influence, to lead, and to shine in ways that inspire others to recognize the hand of God at work. You are being prepared not just for a new location, but for a new dimension of purpose. There is another revelation God wants you to receive. His relocation will magnify your testimony. Every obstacle you overcome, every fear you conquer, every act of faith in the midst of uncertainty will become a living story of God's guidance, power, and faithfulness. People will witness the calm, the courage, and the clarity with which you navigate change, and they will see God reflected in your life. Do not underestimate the significance of this testimony. It is a gift from God, a tool of influence, a way to bring hope and encouragement to others who may be walking through their own valleys of uncertainty. Your relocation is not just personal, it carries spiritual weight that extends far beyond what you can perceive. God told me to impress upon you one final truth: move with gratitude. Gratitude is the lens through which blessings are multiplied, even when the path seems difficult, even when the unknown feels heavy, even when challenges arise. Approach every moment with thanksgiving. Gratitude aligns your spirit with God's favor, sharpens your awareness of divine intervention, and strengthens your faith. It transforms ordinary experiences into sacred encounters. It allows you to see God's hand in every detail, from the smallest coincidence to the largest opportunity. And when you embrace gratitude, the relocation becomes not just a change of place, it becomes a transformation of your life, a spiritual elevation, a divine unveiling of what God has long been preparing. Finally, hear me clearly. God is not merely moving you for comfort, for convenience, or for fleeting opportunity. God is moving you to awaken destiny. Every step you take, every decision you make, every moment of obedience is an investment in the purpose God has written for your life. The new place, the new people, the new circumstances, they are all instruments in God's hands to refine you, to empower you, and to expand the reach of your influence. Do not fear the unknown. Do not cling to the past. Step forward boldly, fully aware that God's presence goes before you, accompanies you, and secures every path you walk. This relocation is a sacred invitation, a divine appointment, and a life-altering passage. Step into it with faith, courage, and unwavering trust in God. Let every fear fall away. Let every doubt dissolve. Let every hesitation vanish, and allow the fullness of God's purpose to move through you without obstruction. God is calling you. God is guiding you. And God has already prepared the blessings, the revelations, and the transformations that await you. So rise, step forward, and embrace this relocation as the divine mandate it is. Walk boldly, listen intently, act faithfully, and watch as God moves mightily in ways that surpass understanding, overwhelm expectation, and transform your life forever. The time has come, the path is ready, the destination is prepared, and God is saying, move now, for I am with you, and what awaits you is greater than you have ever imagined. God said to me just now, in the silence of your heart, tell them the time has come. Listen closely, for what I am about to declare is not born from human reasoning, nor from the fleeting whims of the world. This is a divine revelation, a word burning with the fire of my will, and I cannot remain silent. You may feel ordinary, unnoticed, overlooked by the world. Perhaps you have carried burdens alone, walked paths of confusion, questioned if justice will ever meet your life, if favor will ever rise upon you. But I am here to tell you, the heavens themselves are leaning forward, angels poised in readiness, because a person is finally coming for you. Do you feel that tremor in your spirit? That stirring deep in your chest that cannot be explained by logic or circumstance? That is the whisper of God moving in your direction. And He commands me to warn you, when this person arrives, everything that has been held back, everything delayed, everything whispered against you in the dark will no longer have power. Chains will shatter. Doors that have remained closed through years of waiting will fly open. Eyes that have doubted, hearts that have grown weary, hands that have despaired will lift in astonishment, and the world itself will pause to witness. You must understand this: God does not move slowly when it is time to fulfill what He has spoken. He does not delay out of forgetfulness, nor does He forget the cries of His children. He watches. He orders the steps of the faithful, and He aligns the moments of destiny with precision so flawless that even the winds obey. The one who is coming for you is not ordinary. They carry the fingerprints of God. They bear the authority of His will. They will not stumble, they will not waver, they will not be turned aside by fear or circumstance. They come, and the world will marvel because God Himself has orchestrated this encounter. I know you have waited, I know you have questioned, I know your heart has whispered, will it ever happen for me? Let me tell you now, with every ounce of urgency, with every fiber of truth pulsing through this declaration, your waiting is over. The heavens have timed this moment. The adversary may have laughed, the critics may have mocked, your own mind may have tried to convince you it was impossible, but God said, no, now is the time, and mark this well, when this person appears, they will not only change your circumstances, they will awaken the dormant greatness within you. They will stir the courage that fear buried, the hope that despair tried to extinguish, the faith that doubt tried to erode. God has a way of positioning people in your life who will act as catalysts, who will ignite what the world could not, who will fulfill what He has prepared for you alone. You may be wondering, how will I recognize them? You will know, because God's presence will make it unmistakable. It will not be subtle. The air will feel different. The timing will be uncanny. Doors will align, words will resonate as if spoken directly from heaven. Hearts will connect in ways that defy logic, and you will sense it deep in your soul. This is not coincidence. This is divine orchestration. This is God Himself moving in your favor. Do not fear the greatness that is approaching you. Do not shrink back when blessings arrive dressed as people, opportunities, or revelations. Many have turned away, thinking themselves unworthy, thinking the wait too long, thinking the moment would never come. But God does not make mistakes. His timing is perfect, and He is sending you someone who will not just deliver blessings, they will embody the shift, the breakthrough, the vindication, the affirmation of everything God has spoken over your life. Now hear me clearly. When this person comes, prepare yourself, prepare your heart, prepare your mind, prepare your spirit. Release the bitterness, release the doubt, release the fear. Do not burden them with what God is calling them to give you. Receive with humility, receive with courage, receive with the readiness to rise, because the magnitude of what is coming will not only astonish you, it will astonish the world. People will talk, they will whisper, they will ask, how did this happen? But you will know the answer. God moved, God sent, God fulfilled what He promised. Understand this and let it sink into the very marrow of your being. The arrival of this person is not merely an event. It is a declaration from heaven. It is God's unmistakable signature on your life. A divine marker that says, I have not forgotten you. I have not abandoned you. I am bringing the fullness of my purpose to pass through you. There are seasons in life when waiting feels like punishment, when silence feels like absence, when delay feels like rejection. But every pause, every trial, every moment of isolation is a part of God's preparation. He has been shaping you, refining your heart, strengthening your character, sharpening your vision, and tempering your spirit so that when this person arrives, you will not be overwhelmed. You will rise in readiness, armed with the wisdom, courage, and faith to receive what God has ordained. Do not underestimate the weight of divine timing. God is never early and He is never late. He is always precise. There is a reason you are standing exactly where you are, in exactly the circumstances you are in, feeling exactly the emotions you feel. Every tear you have shed, every disappointment you have endured, every door that slammed in your face, it was all orchestrated by God to position you for this moment. And now the moment has come. Prepare, for the one who is coming carries more than presence. They carry destiny. There will be a clarity that pierces through confusion, a revelation that pierces through uncertainty, and a light that pierces through darkness. You will recognize it immediately because God's hand will be unmistakable. Your heart will respond in ways that cannot be faked or forced. You will feel an alignment within your soul that tells you beyond any doubt that this encounter is not ordinary, that this moment is sacred, that God Himself has sent what your spirit has longed for. And yet there is a warning here as well, for God is always just and discerning. Do not allow your past wounds, your bitterness, your insecurities, or your doubts to defile the encounter that God has orchestrated. The adversary will attempt to whisper, to manipulate, to confuse, and to delay the manifestation of God's plan. He will remind you of old betrayals, past failures, and broken promises. He will seek to make you question the legitimacy of what is coming. Do not listen. Do not waver. Stand firm. Hold fast to the certainty that God moves with authority, that His promises are unshakable, and that His timing is perfect. When this person comes, they will act as a vessel, a conduit for God's favor, provision, and affirmation. They will not merely speak words, they will speak life. They will not merely offer guidance, they will ignite courage. They will not merely share resources, they will unlock doors that were previously invisible. And in their presence, you will find not only opportunity, but also awakening. The awakening of your faith, your vision, and your identity in God. For too long, the world has tried to define you, to limit you, to box you into what it thinks you are capable of. But God has never been limited by the world. And now, through this person, He will redefine your existence according to His divine blueprint. Listen carefully. The people around you may not understand the magnitude of what is occurring. They may scoff, criticize, or dismiss it. But God does not move to impress the world. He moves to fulfill His will. And His will is being fulfilled through this very moment, through this very arrival, through this very person. You must not allow skepticism, cynicism, or fear to rob you of the joy and power of God's intervention. Stand with confidence, step forward with faith, receive with gratitude, and above all, acknowledge that what is happening is far greater than any human effort or understanding. It is the hand of God at work in your life, and it is unstoppable. Prepare yourself now to recognize the signs. God speaks in moments, in alignments, in whispers of clarity, in synchronizations that defy coincidence. He will place this person exactly where you can see them, exactly where they can see you, and exactly where the divine plan will intersect. This is not a matter of luck. This is not a matter of timing based on chance. This is God Himself moving in precision, orchestrating a convergence that will change everything. Hearts will open, paths will align, eyes will witness, and you, beloved, will stand at the epicenter of a divine declaration, and you will know without a shadow of doubt that God has moved. Do not shrink from the wonder of this moment. Do not question the magnitude of the blessing that is about to touch your life. Allow your spirit to rise in anticipation. For this encounter is designed to elevate you beyond what you have known, to position you for purpose beyond what you have imagined, and to awaken a destiny that has long awaited its fulfillment. And when it happens, when this person finally comes, you will understand why every struggle, every delay, and every moment of seeming absence was necessary. You will see that God's patience is not absence, His silence is not neglect, and His timing is not random. Everything was aligning, and now the alignment has come. There is a stirring within you now, whether you realize it or not. It is the unmistakable whisper of God saying, prepare yourself, for what I am sending cannot be contained by the ordinary. You may have imagined blessings arriving in subtle ways, in quiet steps, in half measures. But this is not half measure. This is a declaration. This is a flood. This is a movement that will sweep through your life with a force so undeniable that the world will pause to watch, and those who once doubted will be silenced by the reality of God's action. Do not underestimate the purpose behind this arrival. God is never casual. Every encounter He ordains carries intention, weight, and direction. The person who comes to you is not merely an instrument of timing. They are a reflection of His wisdom, a channel of His power, and a vessel of His divine strategy. Their presence is designed to intersect with your life at a level that is beyond human calculation. You will see openings where there were walls, clarity where there was confusion, and affirmation where there was doubt. What you have yearned for, what you have prayed for, what your spirit has longed to receive, God is now making it tangible, visible, and undeniable. And yet, I must speak the truth with urgency. You cannot receive what God is sending if your heart is weighed down by fear, envy, or indecision. The adversary will not stand idle. He will attempt to provoke hesitation, to whisper questions that make you doubt the legitimacy of this encounter. Is this real? Can this happen to you? Are you truly ready? These are His tools, and they are designed to make you falter. But you must stand firm. You must rise above. You must anchor yourself in the certainty that God's word cannot return void, that His promises are faithful, and that what He has set in motion will reach completion. This person is coming to confirm the work that God has already begun in you. They are coming to validate your faith, to magnify your calling, and to accelerate the purpose that God has placed within you. Their arrival will awaken courage you did not know was inside you. It will ignite hope you thought had been extinguished. It will expose the depths of your potential, the height of your calling, and the breadth of your destiny. And when they come, you will see that every delay, every disappointment, every moment of waiting has been a preparation for this exact encounter. God has been shaping the soil of your life, and now He is sending the rain that will cause it to bloom. Hear me clearly. Do not diminish the power of this moment. Many have a tendency to undervalue the instruments God places in their path. They see a person, a message, an opportunity, and they fail to recognize the divine purpose behind it. But this is no ordinary presence. This is a turning point. This is a revelation. This is a moment that will mark the beginning of a new chapter, a divine pivot orchestrated by the hand of God. You must open your heart fully, align your mind fully, and embrace it with unwavering faith. And God is not done speaking. Even as I speak these words, the heavens are moving, aligning, and preparing. Angels are not idle. They are dispatched to ensure that nothing can prevent disappointment from occurring. Roads that seemed impassable will part. Timing that seemed impossible will align. Barriers that seemed permanent will crumble. And when this person finally arrives, you will understand that it was never by your strength, never by your planning, and never by human effort. It was by the authority, power, and precision of God alone. So stand ready. Prepare yourself not only to receive, but to rise. The impact of this encounter will ripple far beyond your personal life. It will awaken faith in those around you, inspire hope in those who have despaired, and remind the world that God moves with purpose and power. And in that moment, when you recognize the fullness of God's orchestration, you will know this is the work of a sovereign hand, a hand that has guided your life with perfect precision, a hand that has sent someone to intersect your journey and unlock what has long been destined for you. Do not fear the greatness of what is coming. Do not shrink back when the extraordinary manifests in your life. This is God's promise made visible. This is a divine fulfillment that will astonish not only you, but everyone who witnesses it. You will see what patience, faith, and trust can produce when God Himself is moving on your behalf. And when it happens, there will be no doubt, no questioning, no hesitation, no room for disbelief. You will see with your own eyes, feel with your own heart, and experience with your own life. The undeniable truth: God has not forgotten you. God has not forsaken you. God has brought what was promised, what was prepared, what was ordained to your door. Now, understand this. The arrival of this person is not just a gift. It is a divine alignment designed to reveal what has been hidden within you. For too long, your potential has waited quietly beneath the weight of circumstance, like seeds lying dormant beneath the winter snow. God, in His infinite wisdom, has watched patiently as every trial, every delay, every struggle has been shaping the soil of your life, turning it fertile, turning it ready, turning it prepared for what is about to break forth. This person is coming to activate that preparation, to stir what God has planted in your heart, to awaken the strength and clarity that the world has tried to suffocate. When they arrive, you will realize that nothing in your past was wasted, that every tear, every setback, every silent prayer was a necessary step toward this divine intersection. You must also hear this truth. The one who is coming for you will not simply deliver opportunity. They will reveal your calling. They will reflect the vision that God Himself has placed within you. A vision you may have doubted or forgotten, a purpose you may have buried beneath fear or disappointment. Their presence will mirror the possibility of what you are capable of when you fully embrace God's plan. And when this happens, when the light of revelation meets the soil of your preparation, You will rise in ways you never imagined. You will step into a sphere of influence, a level of purpose, and a clarity of mission that the world could not have granted you, that circumstance could not have forced, and that time alone could not have delivered. The enemy will attempt to inject confusion, doubt, and fear into your mind at this critical moment. He will remind you of what has been lost, what has failed, and what has been denied. But God speaks louder than the whispers of darkness. His authority over your life is absolute. The arrival of this person is a signal that his hand is moving beyond what is visible, beyond what is logical, and beyond what has seemed possible. And you must resist the temptation to shrink back. You must refuse to question the legitimacy of what is divinely ordained. You must embrace the encounter with faith so strong that it eclipses every shadow of hesitation. Prepare your spirit for transformation. The one who comes is not merely a change agent. They are a catalyst for spiritual awakening. They will challenge you, stretch you, and push you into a deeper intimacy with God. They will provoke reflection and ignite courage. They will illuminate paths that were previously hidden. And they will help you shed the layers of fear, doubt, and distraction that have kept you from the fullness of your potential. And when this happens, you will understand something profound. God does not send people merely to assist. He sends them to awaken the dormant greatness within you, to make visible what has been long prepared, and to confirm what He has already spoken over your life. I urge you now to quiet your soul and prepare to recognize every sign. God will not leave this moment to chance. He will orchestrate details so precise that you will feel the unmistakable touch of His presence. Conversations, circumstances, timing, and even intuition will align to guide you toward this encounter. You may not see the entire picture immediately, but faith will allow you to recognize the threads of God's hand weaving your path. The person who is coming carries a purpose that intersects directly with your destiny, and the universe itself will bend to accommodate what God has planned. And let me tell you something crucial. This is not the time for hesitation, for doubt, or for questioning. God is calling you to stand in readiness, to rise above past limitations, and to step into a new level of spiritual authority. When this person appears, you will be positioned to receive not just what you expect, but far beyond what you can imagine. Your faith will be awakened, your vision expanded, and your calling confirmed. And in that confirmation, you will realize that God has always been faithful, that His promises are reliable, and that His timing is perfect, even when human eyes could not see it. Prepare your heart to embrace the extraordinary. Do not allow pride, fear, or hesitation to rob you of what God is sending. You must recognize that this encounter is sacred, a divine appointment that will alter the trajectory of your life. And when the moment arrives, you must step forward without doubt, receive without hesitation, and trust without reservation. God's authority is at work, and nothing can impede what He has set in motion. You must understand, beloved, that this moment is not merely about what God is sending to you. It is also about what God is awakening within you. The arrival of this person will stir more than opportunity. It will stir courage. It will awaken resilience. It will illuminate the strength that has been lying dormant under the weight of doubt, fear, and uncertainty. Many have spent years wondering if God had forgotten them, if justice would ever come, if favor would ever rise upon their lives. Let me tell you now with authority that every moment of waiting was a preparation, every season of silence a sharpening. And now God is about to move, and His move will ignite the part of you that has been waiting to rise. Do not be surprised if, when this person appears, you feel a shift in your very being. You may sense clarity where confusion reigned, boldness where timidity lingered, and vision where obscurity once clouded your path. This is the work of God. This is the confirmation of His sovereignty. For too long, the world has attempted to define your limits, to confine your purpose, to diminish your potential, but God's hand is never constrained by human understanding. His purpose is boundless, His timing impeccable, and His methods perfect. The one coming to you is a reflection of that perfection, a channel of His wisdom, a messenger of His timing, a living proof that God's plans cannot be thwarted by circumstance, opposition, or delay. You must also hear this: the impact of this arrival will extend far beyond your immediate life. God is preparing you to be a witness of His power, a testament of His faithfulness, and a living demonstration of His glory. The alignment that brings this person to your life will set in motion a series of events that will awaken hope, inspire faith, and provoke wonder in the hearts of those around you. And as you rise, as you step into the fullness of what God is orchestrating, the world will notice. Eyes that doubted will see. Hearts that disbelieved will be shaken. And in that shaking, God's glory will be revealed, not just in what is given, but in what is awakened within you. There will be moments of testing, even as this person arrives. The enemy will attempt to challenge the legitimacy of this encounter, to provoke anxiety, and to sow confusion. He will tempt you to retreat, to question, to minimize the significance of what God has sent. But God speaks louder than any voice of fear. His plan is immovable, His promise unshakable, and His timing flawless. You are not witnessing mere coincidence. You are witnessing divine intervention. And you must anchor yourself in that truth, holding fast to the certainty that what God has promised cannot be withheld. This person is not coming to do your work for you, but to release what God has already placed within you. They are coming to unlock doors that have been closed for years, to awaken clarity that has been clouded by doubt, and to illuminate opportunities that have been hidden behind obstacles. They will provoke action, ignite faith, and awaken vision. And in their arrival, you will see a reflection of God's faithfulness, a tangible reminder that the Creator of the universe is intimately involved in your life, orchestrating every detail for your good, for your purpose, and for His glory. Prepare yourself for boldness, for clarity, for revelation. This is the moment when hesitation must be cast aside, when fear must be confronted, when doubt must be silenced. God is moving, and His movement is unstoppable. When this person appears, it will not be subtle, it will not be quiet, it will not be ordinary. It will be undeniable, unmistakable, and life-altering. You will recognize it, your spirit will respond, and your faith will rise in ways you have never experienced. And in that rise, you will understand something profound. God has not only been faithful, He has been meticulously preparing this moment for you, orchestrating every step, every season, every alignment to bring it to pass. And as you receive, as you step into the fullness of this encounter, understand that God is also awakening your responsibility. He is Kali, in you to rise, to embrace, to act, to move in alignment with the favor and opportunity He has sent. This is not a passive blessing. It is a call to action, a summons to step into purpose, a challenge to rise above limitation. You must walk forward with courage. You must receive with faith, and you must respond with readiness. The moment is not just about what comes to you. It is about what God is raising within you, what He is revealing through you, and what He is preparing to accomplish through your obedience, vision, and faith. Hear me now, for this is crucial. The one who is coming for you is not merely a presence. They are a divine instrument, a messenger of God's sovereignty, a living confirmation that your season of waiting is over. God has been orchestrating the circumstances, aligning the people, and positioning the opportunities so that when this person arrives, everything within your life that was previously delayed, deferred, or denied will begin to shift with unstoppable momentum. And you must understand this. What is coming is not simply about receiving, it is about awakening. God is about to awaken something within you that has been dormant, overlooked, or suppressed. Your courage will be activated, your faith will be amplified, your vision will be clarified, and when this awakening occurs, it will set you on a trajectory that is unstoppable, undeniable, and irreversible. The enemy will try to challenge this moment. He will seek to inject fear, doubt, and hesita. Kion. He will attempt to distort your perspective, making you question the legitimacy of what God is sending. He will remind you of past failures, past betrayals, and past disappointments, hoping to shake your confidence. But the voice of God is louder than every whisper of darkness. The voice that called the heavens into existence, that shaped the mountains, that commands the seas. This voice is speaking over you, and His word is alive, powerful, and unmovable. You must anchor yourself in this truth. God's hand is moving, and nothing can stop what He has decreed. Prepare your spirit for transformation. The arrival of this person will provoke reflection, ignite action, and awaken a sense of purpose that cannot be contained. They will not only bring clarity, they will draw out the God-given potential within you that has been waiting for activation. They will illuminate the path, highlight the opportunities, and reveal the doors that have been hidden by time, circumstance, or opposition. When they stand in your life, you will recognize that this is more than coincidence. This is divine orchestration. This is God Himself declaring, I am with you, I have heard you, and I am bringing what is yours. But hear this clearly, your readiness matters. God will not force your heart to receive what He has prepared. You must step forward with openness, humility, and courage. You must cast aside the chains of fear and doubt. You must release every thought that questions God's timing or ability. For the fullness of what is coming cannot be received by a heart that clings to hesitation. The person who is coming is a manifestation of God's favor, a channel of His purpose, and a reflection of His wisdom. To miss this moment, to waver, to doubt, would be to resist the hand of God moving in your life. Do not underestimate the spiritual power of what is approaching. This encounter is designed to shift your trajectory, to align you with your purpose, and to awaken within you a boldness that the world cannot contain. You will step into a season of clarity, courage, and divine empowerment. Doors that have been locked will swing open. Paths that were obstructed will be cleared. And every step you take from this point forward will carry the momentum of divine intention. Your life will no longer move according to the limitations of circumstance, but according to the limitless authority and wisdom of God. This is also a call to discernment. Recognize the hand of God in every detail, no matter how small it may seem. A word spoken at the right time, a gesture of encouragement, a sudden insight. These are the fingerprints of God marking the path. The one who comes is a reflection of that divine precision, a living confirmation that God has been moving even when you could not see Him. And when you recognize it, you will understand the depth of God's care, the meticulousness of His timing, and the magnitude of His favor. And finally, beloved, understand the eternal significance of this moment. This is not simply about the person arriving. This is about God revealing His faithfulness in a tangible, undeniable way. This is about the fulfillment of promises, the awakening of purpose, and the confirmation that no circumstance, no delay, and no opposition can thwart His will. Stand ready. Prepare your heart. Open your spirit. Receive with faith. And when this person finally arrives, embrace the fullness of what God has prepared, knowing that every trial, every delay, every tear, and every season of waiting has led to this very divine intersection. And now, as I bring this message to its culmination, hear this with every fiber of your being. What God has promised is coming, and nothing, no force, no circumstance, no shadow of doubt can stop it. The person who is approaching your life is not an ordinary presence. They are a divine instrument, sent with authority, sent with purpose, and sent with a mandate from the Creator of the universe Himself. When they arrive, the heavens will have orchestrated a moment so precise, so powerful, so unmistakably God-led, that you will see the fingerprints of the Almighty in every detail, in every alignment, in every word, in every step. This is your moment, your season of preparation, your years of waiting, your moments of uncertainty, all have led to this exact intersection. God has not been silent. He has not been absent. He has been working behind the scenes, orchestrating events, molding your character, and shaping your destiny so that you would be ready to receive, ready to rise, and ready to embrace the fullness of what He has ordained. And now, the culmination of that divine orchestration is here. When this person arrives, you will understand that every challenge you endured, every door that closed, every rejection, every tear, and every moment of doubt was not wasted. It was all preparation. Preparation for revelation, preparation for alignment, preparation for elevation. This person is not coming to give you what you already have. They are coming to awaken what God has always placed within you, to activate the courage, the vision, the faith, and the power that have been quietly waiting for their moment to emerge. Do not allow fear or hesitation to rob you of this divine encounter. Step forward with confidence, with boldness, with gratitude, and with faith. Receive with openness, knowing that God's hand moves with authority and cannot be thwarted. The favor you have longed for, the breakthrough you have prayed for, the affirmation your spirit has needed, these are all arriving not by human effort, not by luck, but by the precise sovereign will of God. And when it happens, it will not just change your circumstances, it will transform you, awaken you, and elevate you to the destiny God has prepared for you. This is a moment that will leave the world amazed. People will witness and they will marvel, but the glory belongs entirely to God. It is He who moves, He who directs, He who aligns, and He who fulfills. You are not alone, and you are not overlooked. The hand of God is upon your life, and He is sending what is yours exactly when it is meant to arrive. So rise, beloved. Prepare your heart, fortify your spirit, and open your life to receive. Stand in readiness, for this is not the moment to linger in doubt or to question God's timing. This is your season of divine fulfillment. This is the arrival of what has been promised. This is the manifestation of God's faithfulness. And as you step into this encounter, may your soul be filled with awe, your heart with courage, and your spirit with unshakable faith, knowing that what God has ordained cannot be stopped, and that His plan for your life is unfolding with unstoppable power, perfect precision, and eternal authority. Rise now and witness the fulfillment of God's promise. The person is coming, your destiny is calling, and the glory of God will be revealed through this divine moment in your life. Forever changing, forever awakening, forever confirming that the hand of the Almighty never delays, never falters, and never fails. Listen to me with your heart open, because this moment is not accidental. Something is shifting around you, and even if you cannot explain it with words, your spirit already knows. There is a quiet pressure in the air, a holy disturbance that will not let you remain as you are. You may feel unsettled, stretched, or even restless, but this is not confusion. This is God calling you forward. This is God summoning you out of what has been familiar and into what has been prepared. Right now, before anything changes on the outside, something is already changing within you, and that is how every true transformation begins. God does not move loudly at first. God moves deeply. Long before doors open, God rearranges the heart. Long before paths appear, God reshapes the vision. If you have sensed an inner stirring that refuses to be silenced, it is because God is awakening you to a new season. Not a cosmetic change, not a temporary adjustment, but a season that will redefine how you see, how you endure, how you trust, and how you walk. This calling is not meant to flatter you. It is meant to form you. It is not meant to impress others. It is meant to align you with divine purpose. You may be wondering why the old season suddenly feels heavy. Why what once brought comfort now brings restlessness. Why routines feel empty and achievements feel incomplete. It is because God never allows you to outgrow a season without also calling you out of it. The discomfort you feel is not failure, it is transition. God is gently but firmly loosening your grip on what you have mastered so you can receive what you have not yet imagined. If you stayed where you were, your growth would stop. So God is calling you forward, not because you are weak, but because you are ready. Understand this deeply. God never calls without intention. God never shifts seasons without provision. The same God who sustained you before will guide you now. The same God who protected you in uncertainty will protect you in expansion. When God calls you into a new season, it is not because the old one was wasted. Every struggle, every delay, every unseen tear was shaping you for what comes next. Nothing was lost. Nothing was ignored. Everything was counted. There are moments when God speaks softly, and there are moments when God speaks through circumstance. Perhaps doors have closed without explanation. Perhaps relationships have changed. Opportunities have dissolved, or plans you trusted have fallen apart. Do not rush to label this as loss. Sometimes God removes what you lean on so you can learn to stand in divine strength. Sometimes God clears the ground because what is coming requires space. The ending you are grieving may be the very doorway you have been praying for. A new season always begins before you feel ready. If you waited until you felt fully prepared, you would never move. God does not call the finished, God calls the willing. The fear you feel does not disqualify you. It confirms that what lies ahead is larger than what lies behind. Faith is not the absence of fear. Faith is obedience in the presence of fear, and God honors that obedience with guidance that unfolds step by step. Do not expect everything to make sense at once. God reveals in portions because trust is built in movement, not in stillness. If you could see the entire path, you would rely on certainty instead of God. So God gives just enough light for the next step, just enough clarity for today, just enough strength for now. Tomorrow will receive its own measure. This is how dependence is formed, and this is how intimacy with God deepens. You are not being rushed, you are being aligned. God's timing is precise, not hurried. Even when it feels late, it is never wrong. The season you are entering has been scheduled by divine wisdom, not human urgency. What feels delayed to you has been developing beneath the surface. Roots grow in darkness, foundations are laid in silence. When the season changes, what was hidden will suddenly support what becomes visible. Let go of the belief that you must carry everything you learned from the old season into the new one. Some tools will no longer fit. Some mindsets will no longer serve you. God is not only giving you new opportunities, God is offering you a new way of seeing. Old habits of fear, self-doubt, and constant striving cannot survive where God is leading you. The new season requires trust, humility, and a willingness to be taught again. There will be moments when you question yourself. You will wonder if you misunderstood the call, if you moved too soon, or if you are capable of what lies ahead. In those moments, remember this truth. God does not call by accident. If God has stirred your spirit, it is because divine grace will sustain your steps. You are not walking alone, even when it feels lonely. God walks with you in ways you may not yet recognize. This new season will test you, but it will not destroy you. It will stretch you, but it will not break you. Growth always demands more than comfort ever could. There will be days when obedience feels costly, when patience feels heavy, and when faith feels fragile. Yet even on those days, God is at work. Especially on those days, God is shaping resilience within you that no circumstance can take away. Do not compare your calling to anyone else's journey. God's work in you is specific, intentional, and personal. Comparison will only blur your vision and weaken your confidence. What God is building in you cannot be copied or replaced. Your pace, your process, and your path are designed with divine precision. Trust that what unfolds in your life is unfolding exactly as it should. There is a refining that happens when God ushers you into a new season. Motives are clarified. Desires are purified. What once mattered begins to fade, and what truly matters comes into focus. This is not loss of passion, it is alignment of purpose. God is not taking away your joy, God is deepening it. Joy that depends on circumstances will always be fragile. But joy rooted in God becomes unshakable. Expect resistance when you move forward. Not everything will welcome your growth. Some voices will misunderstand your change. Some will prefer the version of you that stayed smaller, quieter, or more predictable. Do not let that discourage you. When God elevates your calling, not everyone will be able to follow you into that new space. This does not mean you are wrong. It means you are obeying. God is calling you to release control and embrace trust. Control demands certainty. Trust invites surrender. In this new season, you will learn that surrender is not weakness, it is strength rightly placed. When you stop trying to manage every outcome, you make room for God to work beyond your limitations. What you could not force, God will fulfill in divine timing. You may feel like you are starting over, but you are not starting from nothing. You are starting from experience, from wisdom gained through endurance, from faith refined by waiting. The new season does not erase the past, it redeems it. Every lesson learned becomes a building block. Every hardship endured. Ed becomes a source of insight. Nothing is wasted when God is the author of your journey. Be attentive in this season. God often speaks through subtle impressions, quiet confirmations, and unexpected peace. Learn to listen without rushing, to move without panic, and to rest without guilt. The pace of this new season may feel different. You may be called to slow down in order to go further. Strength is not always loud. Sometimes strength is steady, faithful, and consistent. When doubt whispers, anchor yourself in what God has already brought you through. Remembrance is a powerful act of faith. If God sustained you before, God will sustain you again. If God guided you through uncertainty, God will guide you through expansion. Let past faithfulness silence present fear. Let gratitude become your grounding. The season you are entering will require courage, but courage grows through obedience. Each step taken in faith strengthens the next one. You do not need to feel brave to move forward. You need to trust that God's presence is greater than your hesitation. Courage is not found in confidence. It is found in reliance on God. There will be moments of solitude in this season, times when the path feels quiet and the affirmation scarce. Do not interpret silence as absence. God often works most deeply when there is less noise. Solitude sharpens discernment. It teaches you to hear God's voice above all others. In the quiet, your identity will be anchored more firmly in divine truth. Rather than external approval, God is calling you into a season of clarity. Confusion will not have the final word. Questions will not define your future. As you remain faithful, understanding will unfold, not all at once, but enough to keep moving. Trust the process, even when it challenges your expectations. God's plans often arrive in forms we did not predict, but they always carry purpose. Do not underestimate the significance of this moment. Transitions shape destinies. How you respond to this calling will influence more than you realize. Your obedience today prepares impact tomorrow. Your faithfulness now creates pathways later. Even when the work feels small, it is never insignificant in the hands of God. The new season will invite you to live with deeper integrity, greater compassion, and stronger conviction. You will be called to stand firm when it would be easier to retreat, to speak truth with humility, and to walk in patience when results are delayed. This is not punishment, it is preparation. God is entrusting you with more, and trust requires growth. Remember that God's guidance is not fragile. You cannot miss what God has ordained by walking in sincere obedience. Even detours are used. Even delays are redeemed. When your heart remains open and your intentions align with God, your steps will be directed even when the path curves unexpectedly. Allow yourself to be transformed, not just repositioned. A new season is not merely about new surroundings. It is about a renewed spirit. Let God reshape your inner life so your outer life reflects divine alignment. Transformation begins where surrender meets trust. You are not alone in this calling. God's presence goes before you, surrounds you, and sustains you. When the weight feels heavy, rest in that presence. When the road feels long, draw strength from that presence. When uncertainty arises, let that presence be your assurance. This season will reveal strengths you did not know you had. It will awaken faith you did not realize was dormant. It will invite you into a deeper relationship with God, one that is not built on convenience but on commitment. This depth will anchor you through future challenges and victories alike. Stand where you are right now and acknowledge this truth. God is calling you forward with purpose, not away from safety, but into growth, not into confusion, but into alignment, not into fear, but into trust. The call may feel heavy because it matters. It may feel challenging because it is meaningful. Do not rush to arrive. Let yourself be formed along the way. The journey itself will teach you what the destination cannot. Every step taken in faith shapes the person who will stand in the fulfillment of this season. God is as invested in who you are becoming as in where you are going. Receive this moment with humility and courage. Say yes even if your voice trembles. Say yes even if the path is not fully clear. God honors the yes that is offered sincerely. For that yes, guidance will flow, Strength will rise and peace will settle. This is not the end of what you know. It is the beginning of what you are becoming. God is calling you into a new season. And this season carries growth, purpose, refinement, and deeper trust. Walk forward with reverence, with patience, and with faith. The God who called you is faithful, and what God begins, God sustains. There will come a moment in this season when you realize that God is not only changing your direction, but reshaping your capacity. You will notice that situations that once overwhelmed you no longer have the same power. Challenges that would have shaken you before now meet a steadiness within you that did not exist in earlier seasons. This is not because life has become easier, but because God has strengthened you from the inside. Growth is often quiet, and maturity rarely announces itself. Yet its evidence is undeniable when pressure arises and you remain standing. God is inviting you to trust, not just in moments of clarity, but also in moments of mystery. There is a faith that operates when answers are visible, and there is a deeper faith that rests even when explanations are withheld. This new season will teach you the sacred discipline of resting in God without needing constant confirmation. You will learn that certainty is not the foundation of faith. Trust is. And trust matures when you choose to believe that God is good even when the path feels unfamiliar. You may discover, that God is calling you to confront parts of yourself you once avoided. Old wounds, hidden fears, and unspoken doubts may surface, not to shame you, but to heal you. God does not expose to condemn, God reveals to restore. This season is not only about external movement, but internal freedom. The chains that lingered unseen will be gently loosened as you allow God access to places you once guarded tightly. Healing will not always feel gentle, but it will always be purposeful. In this season, obedience may require courage that goes beyond comfort. You may be asked to choose integrity when compromise would be easier, patience when urgency feels justified, and humility when recognition seems deserved. These moments shape character, and character sustains calling. God is far more concerned with who you are becoming than with how quickly you arrive. When you honor God in the unseen decisions, you prepare yourself for responsibilities that require spiritual weight. There will be times when progress feels slow, almost invisible. Do not measure this season by speed, measure it by depth. Roots grow slowly, yet they determine the strength of everything that rises above the surface. God is establishing you firmly so that when expansion comes, you will not be shaken by pressure or praise. Stability is being built within you, layer by layer, choice by choice, moment by moment. God is also teaching you discernment in this season. Not every opportunity is an assignment. Not every open door is meant to be entered. Wisdom will sharpen as you learn to pause, to listen, and to move only when peace aligns with conviction. Discernment is a quiet confidence that grows through closeness with God. As you remain attentive, you will sense when to advance and when to wait, when to speak and when to remain silent. This new season will refine how you view success. You will begin to understand that success is not defined by visibility, applause, or comparison. True success is alignment with God's will, even when the outcome is unseen by others. There is a fulfillment that comes from obedience alone, a peace that settles when your actions match divine guidance. That peace will sustain you far more than temporary recognition ever could. God is calling you to release old definitions of yourself, the labels you accepted, the limitations you believed, and the roles you outgrew can no longer contain who you are becoming. This may feel unsettling, as identity shifts often do, but it is necessary. God does not call you forward to remain the same. Transformation requires surrender, and surrender opens the door to a truer understanding of who you are in divine purpose. You may feel moments of vulnerability as you step into unfamiliar territory. Vulnerability is not weakness, it is openness. It is the space where God's strength becomes evident. When you allow yourself to be seen without armor, to move without guarantees, you create room for God to work beyond human control. This season will teach you that reliance on God is not a last resort, but the foundation of lasting strength. As you move forward, you will notice that your perspective begins to shift. What once provoked fear now invites prayer. What once demanded control now invites trust. This shift is subtle but profound. It marks the difference between surviving and becoming. God is not merely guiding you through circumstances. God is shaping how you interpret them. Through this renewed perspective, peace will grow even when answers remain incomplete. There will be moments when you must choose faith repeatedly, sometimes daily, sometimes moment by moment. Faith is not a single decision, it is a continual posture of the heart. Each time you choose trust over anxiety, obedience over hesitation, you strengthen that posture. God honors consistency. Even small acts of faith accumulate into a life that reflects divine guidance. This season will also reveal the power of patience. Waiting does not mean stagnation. Waiting, when aligned with God, is active trust. It is preparation without panic, movement without haste. As you wait, your spirit is being trained to hold greater responsibility without losing balance. Patience refines vision, teaching you to value timing as much as destination. God is drawing you into deeper awareness of presence. You will begin to recognize God not only in moments of prayer, but in ordinary moments, quiet moments, and unremarkable moments. This awareness transforms daily life into sacred ground. When you learn to walk with God consistently, every step gains meaning and every decision carries intention. Do not fear the moments when you feel stretched beyond your comfort. Stretching precedes growth. God expands capacity by inviting you into situations that require reliance beyond yourself. In those moments, you will discover strength that does not originate from effort, but from trust. God meets you precisely where your ability ends. As this season unfolds, your faith will become less reactive and more grounded. You will no longer be moved as easily by uncertainty or distraction. A steadiness will take root within you, anchored in the understanding that God remains constant even when circumstances change. This steadiness is not indifference, it is assurance. Remember that every season carries its own lessons, and this one is no exception. Embrace the lessons without resistance. Learn without rushing. Grow without comparison. God's work in you is intentional and complete in its timing. What feels unfinished today is still unfolding. You are not walking toward something empty. You are walking toward purpose shaped by divine wisdom. Every step taken in obedience strengthens the alignment between your life and God's design. Trust that alignment, even when it demands patience, courage, and surrender. Let this season teach you to stand firmly without rigidity, to move boldly without arrogance, and to trust deeply without fear. God is not calling you into confusion, but into clarity that develops through faithfulness. Stay attentive, stay humble, stay willing. What lies ahead is not merely change, it is growth that will echo through every area of your life. God is calling you into a new season, and that call carries intention, refinement, and hope. Walk forward with a steady heart, The presence of God goes with you, and that presence is more than enough. There will be a moment when you recognize that this season is asking you to live with greater honesty before God. Not the kind of honesty that recites rehearsed words, but the kind that stands uncovered and sincere. God is inviting you to bring your real questions, your quiet fears, and your unspoken hopes into divine presence without disguise. Authentic faith is not built on perfection, it is built on truth. When you allow yourself to be fully seen, you discover that God's guidance meets you exactly where you are, not where you pretend to be. This season will teach you the power of stillness. Not silence born from avoidance, but stillness rooted in trust. There is wisdom that only emerges when you stop striving to fill every gap with activity. In stillness, discernment sharpens. In stillness, anxiety loses its grip. God often speaks most clearly when you are willing to pause long enough to listen without interruption. This pause is not wasted time, it is sacred preparation. You may notice that God is shifting your priorities. What once consumed your energy may begin to lose urgency, while what once seemed secondary takes on greater weight. This is alignment at work. God recalibrates focus so that your effort is invested where it truly matters. As your priorities change, your peace will deepen, because peace flows naturally when life is ordered by divine wisdom rather than external pressure. There will be invitations in this season to forgive where resentment once lived, to release where bitterness lingered, and to let go where attachment kept you bound. Forgiveness is not denial of pain, it is refusal to let pain dictate your future. God understands the cost of forgiveness, and God provides the strength to choose it. When you forgive, you do not lose ground, you gain freedom. Freedom creates space for new growth to take root. This season will also reveal the difference between noise and truth. Many voices compete for attention, offering opinions, expectations, and definitions that promise clarity but deliver confusion. God's voice does not compete, it anchors. As you learn to recognize that voice, you will find that clarity does not require volume. Truth settles quietly but firmly within the heart, bringing assurance without urgency. You will be called to steward your energy wisely. Not every demand deserves the same response. God is teaching you to value rest as much as effort, reflection as much as action. Burnout is not a badge of faithfulness. Sustained obedience requires balance shaped by wisdom. When you honor the right, HMS, God establishes, endurance replaces exhaustion. At times, this season will require you to stand alone in conviction. There will be choices you make that are not immediately understood, paths you take that do not come with widespread approval. Loneliness in obedience is not abandonment. It is often the space where courage matures and dependence on God strengthens. In these moments, you will discover that divine companionship outweighs human validation. God is also inviting you to expand your capacity for compassion. As you grow, you will see others differently. Judgment will give way to understanding. Impatience will soften into empathy. This is not weakness, it is depth. Compassion reflects divine character and becomes a powerful force for healing, both within you and around you. This season will ask you to trust God with outcomes you cannot control. Effort has its place, but surrender completes the work. When you release the need to manage every result, you allow God to move freely. Trust transforms uncertainty into possibility. Possibility opens doors that effort alone could never unlock. You may find that gratitude becomes a stronger anchor than expectation. Gratitude keeps you grounded in the present, aware of what is already unfolding. It shifts attention from what is missing to what is being formed. God uses gratitude to stabilize the heart during transition, reminding you that even in change there is provision. As your faith deepens, you will notice a growing resilience within you. Resilience does not mean you are untouched by difficulty. It means you are not defined by it. God is teaching you to recover quickly, to learn without hardening, and to move forward without carrying unnecessary weight. This resilience will sustain you through future seasons yet to come. This new season is shaping your legacy, whether you realize it or not. The choices you make now, the integrity you uphold, and the faith you practice quietly will ripple beyond this moment. God works through consistency more than spectacle. What you build patiently will stand firmly. Remain attentive to the small confirmations along the way. Not every sign will be dramatic, but many will be gentle reminders that you are not walking alone. A sense of peace in the midst of challenge, a timely insight, a renewed strength when fatigue threatens to overwhelm. These are subtle affirmations of divine presence. Do not rush to label this season as easy or difficult. It is formative. God is shaping something enduring within you. Formation often feels demanding because it involves refinement, but refinement produces clarity, strength, and purpose that cannot be manufactured. Let your confidence rest, not in your ability to navigate perfectly, but in God's faithfulness to guide faithfully. Mistakes do not cancel calling. Learning does not negate growth. God's guidance is patient and persistent, leading you forward even when progress feels uneven. Allow hope to remain active, not passive. Hope is not wishful thinking. It is steady expectation grounded in trust. As you move through this season, let hope inform your decisions, your attitude, and your endurance. Hope keeps your vision lifted beyond immediate challenges. This season is an invitation to live with greater intention. Each choice becomes an opportunity to align more closely with divine purpose. Each moment offers the chance to respond with faith rather than fear. God honors intentional living with clarity and peace. Stand firmly in the knowledge that you are being guided with wisdom far greater than your own. The path may unfold gradually, but it unfolds securely. God is calling you into a new season, not to overwhelm you, but to expand you. Walk forward with steadiness, humility, and trust. What is being formed within you now will sustain you long after this season has passed. There will come a point in this season when you realize that God is not only guiding your steps, but teaching you how to walk differently. You will sense a shift in how you respond to pressure, how you interpret setbacks, and how you carry responsibility. Where panic once rushed in, there will now be pause. Where frustration once ruled, there will now be restraint. This is not emotional detachment. It is spiritual maturity taking root. God is training your inner life to remain steady even when circumstances fluctuate. You will also learn that strength does not always appear as intensity. Sometimes strength is expressed, said through restraint, through choosing peace when chaos invites reaction, through choosing faith when worry demands attention. God is refining your responses so that you are no longer driven by impulse, but led by discernment. This refinement will protect you in places where talent alone could not. This season will deepen your understanding of dependence. You will come to recognize that reliance on God is not something you graduate from. It is something you grow into. As responsibility increases, so does the need for humility. God is teaching you that independence may feel empowering, but dependence is what sustains longevity. The more you rely on divine guidance, the lighter the weight becomes. You may notice that your prayers change. They become less about urgency and more about alignment, less about asking for escape and more about asking for wisdom. This shift is significant. It signals that your faith is maturing beyond survival into stewardship. God is shaping your heart to desire not just relief, but purpose in this season. God will also confront the quiet narratives you have carried about yourself. The internal limits you accepted without question will begin to lose their authority. You will see clearly that those boundaries were never divine in origin. God does not call you forward to remain confined by old assumptions. As truth replaces those narratives, confidence will grow, not rooted in self-assurance, but in trust that God equips what God calls. There will be moments when the path feels ordinary, even unremarkable. Do not dismiss these moments. Faithfulness in the ordinary builds the endurance required for the extraordinary. God often works through consistency rather than spectacle. What feels routine to you is still part of a sacred process unfolding with precision. You will learn to recognize when God is asking you to persist and when God is asking you to pause. Discernment will keep you from exhausting yourself unnecessarily. Not every obstacle is meant to be pushed through. Some are invitations to wait, to reassess, and to listen more closely. Wisdom grows when you learn the difference. This season will also heighten your awareness of responsibility. As clarity increases, so does accountability. God is not placing pressure on you. God is entrusting you with insight. Insight carries responsibility, but it also carries protection. When you act in alignment with what you know to be true, you move with confidence rather than fear. There may be times when progress feels uneven. Forward movement rarely appears as a straight line. There will be advances and pauses, clarity and uncertainty. Do not misinterpret fluctuation as failure. God is still guiding you, even through complexity. Trust is built not by constant ease, but by consistent faithfulness through change. You will also discover that joy in this season becomes quieter but deeper. It will no longer depend on outcomes alone, but on alignment. There is a profound satisfaction that comes from knowing you are walking in step with divine guidance, even when the destination is still forming. That joy sustains far longer than excitement ever could. God is teaching you how to carry vision without becoming consumed by it. Vision without balance becomes burden. Balance allows vision to inspire rather than exhaust. As you learn to hold vision with humility and patience, you will find that it sharpens focus without draining strength. This season will refine your sense of purpose. Purpose will feel less like a distant goal and more like a present posture. You will realize that purpose is expressed not only in major decisions, but in daily choices made with integrity and faith. God honors the small acts of obedience just as much as the visible ones. You may sense a growing confidence that does not need constant reassurance. This confidence is not loud or forceful, it is steady. It comes from knowing that even if circumstances shift again, God remains constant. This assurance becomes an anchor when uncertainty arises. As you continue forward, remain teachable. Growth thrives in humility. God continues to guide those who remain open, responsive, and willing to adjust. Teachability keeps your spirit flexible and your vision clear. Do not underestimate the significance of perseverance in this season. Perseverance is not about enduring hardship without feeling. It is about continuing forward with trust, even when emotions fluctuate. God honors perseverance because it reflects faith that is not dependent on mood or momentum. You are being shaped into someone who can carry greater responsibility without losing compassion, greater clarity without losing humility, and greater influence without losing integrity. This shaping takes time, and time is part of the gift. God is not rushing the process because what is being formed must last. Let your heart remain open. Let your spirit remain attentive. Let your steps remain steady. God is still calling, still guiding, still working in ways both seen and unseen. This season is not temporary preparation for something meaningful. It is meaningful in itself. What God is building within you now will support everything that comes next. Walk forward with quiet confidence, trust deeply, remain faithful. God is calling you into a new season, and that call is unfolding with wisdom, purpose, and care. So stand here now, fully aware that this moment matters. Not because everything is clear, not because every fear has vanished, but because God is present in this very step. What you are entering is not random, and what you are leaving behind has served its purpose. God is not asking you to rush, to prove, or to perform. God is asking you to trust, to remain faithful, and to keep walking. Even when the road unfolds one step at a time. Let your heart be settled by this truth. You are not late, you are not forgotten, and you are not unprepared. God calls with precision, guides with wisdom, and sustains with faithfulness. Even when you feel weak, divine strength is at work within you. Even when the path feels uncertain, divine purpose is steady beneath your feet. Nothing about this season is wasted, and nothing about your journey has been overlooked. Carry forward with humility, with courage, and with a quiet confidence that does not need constant reassurance. Allow God to continue shaping you, correcting you, strengthening you, and expanding you. Remain attentive to guidance, patient with process, and faithful in action. What is being formed within you now will speak louder than any announcement later. This is not merely a change of circumstances. It is a deepening of trust, a sharpening of vision, and a strengthening of spirit. God is calling you into a new season, and that call is wrapped in purpose, growth, and hope. Walk forward knowing this with certainty. The same God who brought you here will carry you through, and what lies ahead will unfold exactly as it should, in perfect time, under divine care.